Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thanks again for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing weekend. Taking a quick look here at Solana, seeing what's going on. This is interesting. There's a few different scenarios we want to look at because we talked last day about potentially seeing an ABC pattern on the way down. We want to talk about that and also just discover a little bit more about Fibonacci retracement levels after looking at some back-end data here with liquidation. So we'll just jump right in there. And again, if you're new to this channel, thanks for watching. I really greatly appreciate you hitting that like button and of course following if you haven't already. Great chance majority of you have been following me for years and I greatly appreciate that. So thanks again so much for just being an amazing part of my life. So let's take a quick look here. This is a little concerning here. This lower level here at about 70 cents. 70 cents. Boy, this is not Matic or anything else. This is Solana, sorry. $70.30. So right there at 70.30, you can see a heavy concentration between basically 70 and 70.50, okay? But mostly at 70.30. So there's a lot of longs hedged right there at that level. So what does that mean for us? Well, if the price pulls back, that means that level would be swept. A big surprise. Obviously, we know that that could happen, but the likelihood of that happening is higher based on that being such a large amount of liquidation at that level. The whales tend to target those things. That's exactly why Elliott Wave and different theories exist where the price action continues to build at certain levels and it's consistently swept at least 1, 2, or 3 times. So that being said, we do have a strong strong resistance between 78 and 80. And I'm not saying that based on the liquidity here. The liquidity here is different altogether. We have liquidation levels there. But previously, to kind of touch on this, just to give you some macro understanding there, if we look at the weekly effectively, that's a strong support level, was previously at $78. Now it's turned resistance, okay? That's why we're seeing this initial rejection there at 78, because we spent weeks at that price point and couldn't pass that level. Now that we're down below, we have to presume that's going to be a resistance level. That's what I mean by that, okay? So let's go ahead and work our way down and just kind of talk a little bit about some important stuff and how that back-end data kind of filters in. Again, just to kind of keep this in the back of your mind, $70-ish, 70 to 70.50 is a strong amount of liquidation. Okay, so let's just go ahead and mark that on the chart so you can kind of see. It's right here at this level. Okay, all right. So on the daily, we want to look at a few things. First of all, moving averages, we're good there. Nothing crazy. We can see here on the RSI is hanging out at 70, which is perfectly fine. That's a good sign. Staying at 70, honestly, once you break above, is a positive contributing factor there for a bullish continuation. That said, though, money flow index is tapering off a little bit, and we are seeing a second divergence here from our stochastic RSI. Notice how these stochastic RSIs move a lot in tandem with Elliott Wave. Okay? So a lot of similarities there in that sense where we could very well see this as a tentative top, and the price could establish still an ABC pattern on this way down to maybe bounce off that 68 or $65 mark, where those were some previous key level supports. Okay. MACD is converging, all well and good. So again, the daily time frame isn't super telling. These are a couple of things we want to pay attention to, but it doesn't mean we've shifted bearish at all. All right, so taking a look at the 4 hour, we also want to recognize, again, keep in mind, keep your eye on this level here, $70.50, strong amount of liquidation there, okay? That said, MACD is still diverging. We can kind of see that, but it's starting to plateau, which is a good sign. It means the momentum to the downside is dissipating. Doesn't mean it can't still go lower, it just implies that it is essentially continuing down. Same thing here with stochastic RSI. If you look at the last time we swung down this far, it was roughly one of these scenarios here. So again, swung down here, and then it swung down a second time. So if you look at it closely, you can kind of see a divergence here. In other words, where the 12 intersects with a 26 in a downward fashion. That's how the MACD typically is. But here at the RSI, it essentially swung twice, right? That second swing here is what gave us some momentum to swing back up. So what I'm getting at here is when you look at stochastic, we swung one time here already. That's all well and good, but that could imply we have one more leg down before the next leg up. Okay? Again, you see this here, lower low, and then it continued on its way. Once stochastic evened out, we have seen a lower low here with stochastic, but we haven't seen our next lower low. Okay? Again, it's not a guarantee, but there's a strong likelihood that could happen. We are maintaining above 50 on the RSI, and money flow index is coming down. Once more, as I've taught before in the past, MFI decreasing increases the likelihood of the price continuing down lower. So if we drop below 50 on the RSI, that would be a different story altogether. But if we can maintain 50 on the RSI, right, and then the money flow index continues lower, that's a perfect place to get in. Though those are good situations in most cases to get in, just based on that whole shift in momentum, where the money has flowed out of the coin for so long, it has to come back. There's somewhat of a reverse polarity there. Okay, so that's kind of where we're at there in that regard. TD sequential, we are down to a 5, got a little reset after overextending up to a 9+4. Taking a look at the moving averages, we're holding above the 20-day SMA, which is a good sign. The key here is being above the 50. So again, even if we were to establish a lower low, we would be okay there because of the simple fact that the price action is maintaining above that trend line, which to me, the 50 is more important. Remember, the 20 is kind of just an indication of understanding that, hey, we might have lost our bullish momentum. We want to be concerned with range-bound activity and a potential breakdown. But at this point, we're not there yet, okay? But still, it's just kind of an awareness situation. When you break below the 20, you just want to be more aware and more cautious in taking longs. That said, nothing too terrible here, but kind of some conflicting information, right? Me, when I have conflicting info, I don't really love to take a trade. That's just me personally. So again, if you're itching to take a trade, I would lean a little bit more towards the price coming down to establish a lower low first, but that's just me. Let's quickly look at Elliott Wave here, and we can kind of see that these are the levels the price could pull back to. Again, previous resistance level turned support, $68.25. Roughly 0.5 on Fibonacci, about $64.50. And then, of course, we have 0.618 at about $61.37. So those are essentially the areas we could see. Now, this is where things get a little interesting. The hourly paints a different picture because of the way that the it's a little bit, it's a faster time frame, of course, and it catches different candle wicks, so to speak. And what we're seeing here is that, according to Elliott Wave, this does feel like this is the top. In other words, $78 is effectively the top for Solana, the initial top. I'm not saying forever, but just for right now in this phase, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we've fulfilled that. And hypothetically, if this is the lowest point here that it's going to go on this downtrend at $70.60, then hypothetically we're going to establish a lower high and a lower low after that. Again, that's I'm subscribing to that a little bit more. I hope I'm wrong. Totally hope I'm wrong. The price goes up. But again, it would make sense for the price to pull back a little bit further to some of these levels here. Again, this one is telling us roughly that 67.50 is a potential area for us. And what do you know? That was a previous resistance level and should work as a support. Okay? Let's take a quick peek at volume and just quickly clarify what's going on here. And with volume, if we kind of zoom in a little bit, we can see a lot of volume above the current price action and below. Okay, so this reaffirms the fact that we got some kind of resistance here, roughly at about 73. And of course, volume support at 63. So it's a bit of a range. Just know that liquidation levels are up here and right here. So which side do you think it's going to go, considering it has that downward momentum? I'm subscribing to the thought process that $70.50 will get swept, and we will see a lower low, quite possibly between 66 and 69, maybe 68 range. Okay? Again, these are just theories from somebody that looks at the charts every single day. So take with it what you will. I hope you learned something here today, of course. Before you go, though, extremely important. Actually, we get a lot of positive feedback here recently. This exchange is excellent. Make sure you check them out. Bitunix, phenomenal exchange. Awesome amount of rewards if you use my link to register. And mainly, the thing about them is they have trailing stop losses, multiple take profit targets. All that's available in our Discord here. We have a Bitget kind of walkthrough section there. I'll continue to add more content there, but just a fantastic place there. And also, quick congrats to our community members there. We cashed in on our Bell trade. We hit 128% and 129% on 2 separate trades over the last 1 to 3 months. Awesome stuff there. All right, folks, thanks again for watching. Hope you have a great rest of your day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.